Everyone, welcome to my video about my TV antenna. That's my antenna up there. It's about 6 years old. It's 12 foot long. Got tired of paying a cable bill, so I put an antenna up. It is 12 foot long. It's the biggest one I could find. I'm about 50 miles south of the major city here, and I get really good reception. About 60 channels, probably 10 or 15 are HD. Antenna works real well. Paid for itself the first month. Only cost 90 bucks new. Had to put up that the pole, the tower that it's on, and it's about 7 foot above the peak of the house. So tall enough to, short enough to where I could reach it when I have to work on it. And it does take a little bit of maintenance over the last few years. So I'm gonna go through my setup and I'll show you what's going on. Here's another view of the setup. And like I said, it is 12 foot long, and there's the pole that I put in the ground to hold the antenna up. I wanted the pole mounted to the side of the house rather than go through the roof, because I didn't want any leaks to get. If you can see, that's an aluminum bracket that I made. Didn't want any rust. I mounted it right to the ceiling joist, the roof joist, and it's bolted there with bolts. And I filled those bolt holes with silicone caulk to, reduce the chance of water rotting it. So if you notice that the pole goes down the side of the house and it's right into the ground. And if you look over here, it goes about 3 foot into the ground. This is the south side of the building, and the ground doesn't freeze real deep. So right next to it, you can see that there's a grounding rod, a grounding connection, and there's a ground rod over here buried in the ground. I didn't want any chance or reduce the risk of lightning strikes. So there's the antenna wire that goes into the house. Actually goes in there. I used to run it to this cable box, but I lost a little bit of signal. Not a cable box, but just a utility box. But I lost a little bit of signal in that box, so I decided to go directly into the house. And that box has a grounding connection that goes to the ground rod, which is about 6 foot long. So this is the outside. About once every 6 months I change the little transformer that goes from the 75 ohm cable wire to the 300 ohm connector that's on the antenna itself. But as you can see, the antenna is still in really good shape, and it's been through hailstorms, which I got a new roof out of the hailstorm from the damage, and it did $4,200 of damage to the car. So it's been through heck, and the antenna is still nice and straight. Very few of the elements are bent, if any. They actually look really good to me. So the wire is getting old. Maybe in a year or so I'll change the wire. You can see where the coating is kind of coming off a little bit. So, but it's working real good. I just use black tape to tape the wire to it. The wire's out in the weather and the sun beats on it, but it's okay. And the post that it's mounted to is just regular galvanized pipe, and I think it's about 1.5 inches OD. And it comes pretty greasy. I got it at Menards, so I degreased it, and then I Brillo pad it to scuff it up a little bit so I could paint it, and I etched it with some vinegar. My father told me that that's an old-timer's way of etching galvanized pipe, so it'll take paint, because galvanized is hard to paint. And if you look up there, there's a reducer that goes to the right size for connection for the antenna mounting itself. So the pipe's holding out real well. No rust on the pipe. Didn't want to have to maintain that. I used some 10-foot sections. So there's a connector. There's a connector right above the peak of the house, and then there's that little adapter that goes down to, I don't know, 1.5 OD maybe. But it's the size that it holds on real easy. But let's go inside and look and see, what the inside connection is. Here we are inside, and you can see the antenna comes up right in the corner of the window. I need to silicone this little area right here to stop, air, maybe water. I tried to drill a hole in the corner, and that didn't work. I couldn't get through the frame, so I went in right through there. Here's the other one came in. Does come in right here. That's from the box, that utility box outside. And this is the wire coming from the utility box. So they go to the same area, but I went directly to it. And if you look back in here, here's my connections. And as you can see, here's my one splitter, and here's where the antenna connects. And I bought this little bitty adapter. Let me pull it off. And you know, it's a push-on deal. So I can disconnect it and connect it easily when I go on vacation. That's what I do. I disconnect it and let it sit on the ground because I don't want the lightning strikes. So, and then I don't have a conventional building around here. It's all concrete. So I can't run it inside the wall, and I'm on a slab, so I can't run it under the slab. So it runs and it goes under the door and through the door and around the building. But you know, it works real good, and it's better than paying a cable bill. So once again, when I go to connect it, I just push it back on right there, and you see that one splitter. And they recommend that you use one splitter. You split once, and you go to every, you know, appliance, every TV, every box that you have. So I had 4 boxes, so I kind of daisy chained them. You know, I split it, and I moved along, and then I split it again, and then I split it again, and I found that I lose a lot of signal. So I need to rewire the place and try to get some more cables to each TV or digital converter box, because I still have a couple of those. So I need to get some more cables and have them all meet right here and get, you know, one splitter with 4 outputs and 1 input. The input, you know, the TV goes to the input, or the antenna goes to the input, and every TV goes to one of the outputs on the splitter. But, you know, it works good for now. And I'll go show you how it's set up at the TV. You can see here comes a wire from over there and over there and over there. It goes back and just connects right to the TV. Goes right in the back of the TV there, that white one back there. So, and then there's all my power strips. You know, I have a separate power strip for each component. One is for the Blu-ray player, the sound bar with the subwoofer, and the main one goes to the TV, and they all go to this surge protector. And then these 2 are the separate splitters. So this is the TV, and this is splitter, the sound splitter, I think, one of them, and the TV and the Blu-ray splitter. So it works pretty good. I get, like I said, I get about 50 some channels, maybe 60, maybe 10 or 15 are HD, and it works real well. And you know, I haven't had a cable bill for probably 5-6 years, and cable was $61 a month then, so it's probably more now. And you know, the antenna was about 80 bucks, so well worth it. And the piping, you know, 27 foot 2-inch galvanized pipe isn't that expensive. And I dug a hole and I filled the hole with sand because I didn't have any concrete, and I made that bracket out of some aluminum that I had. But you know, it seems to be working good, and you know, so far so good. Maybe have to change the cable outside. Eventually have to change that transformer up on the antenna itself, like I've done a couple times, maybe 3 times in 6 years. So it's not every 6 months, it's about, you know, once a year. But it works really good, and I'm very pleased, and no more cable bill. So everything's good, and there's my boy. So thanks for watching. See you soon.